After the video I did on animal pathfinding about a month ago, I set myself a goal of making a little pathway that animals would naturally walk through just because of how they pathfind in a specific direction. So here, pigs will tend to climb up the green areas and then will kind of slowly trickle down the red areas. My next idea was to try to use this for some kind of novelty wool farm. So you have grass in there now instead and sheep walking through it. Yeah, and then I set up a little automatic shearing station. So every now and then, sheep will walk in front of these pressure plates, activate the dispensers, and drop their wool. You can see this doesn't work that well because a lot of the sheep just walk through, and even the ones that get sheared often, like, their wool gets stuck on top of things. But I realized after I built that, it's super unnecessary because you can do the same thing with just a mountain hillside. So here I've penned in 32 sheep. They're all named Jeb underscore so that you don't know what color you're going to get from them. Yeah, and up here, there's just a little slot that they can fall into. Because of, they prefer uphill movement, they all kind of gravitate towards that little opening anyways. But then when they do wander up here, they'll fall down. Fortunately, there was a cave underneath, so the sheep get a fun view of the cave before they go through the shear stream. Yeah, there we go. So as sheep pass in front of this pressure plate here, the dispenser shears them. And there's still a bit of the same problem where wool can get stuck on top of other blocks, but I tried to minimize that here by using fence. And then the sheep at the bottom walk out. They eventually make their way up to the top and repeat the whole thing over again. I did a 20-minute time trial with all these sheep and found that on average, they'll go up to the top, fall down, wash through the shear stream, and repeat once every 4 minutes, so about 15 times an hour. So it's about 15 wool per sheep per hour. So if you got 30 of them, that's 400, I think, wool an hour. Obviously way slower than an industrial redstone-based wool farm. This thing also has the downside that, a player has to stand near it for it to work, because sheep won't pathfind if no player is within 32 blocks of them. The three advantages this thing has: one, it's really cheap. You need one pressure plate, one hopper, one dispenser. The second advantage is that it's a lot prettier because you're working with a natural hillside. You can decorate it better than I've decorated it. And the third cool thing is just that it uses pathfinding. Farms that use game mechanics that aren't very well known are just a lot more interesting and tend to be a lot more unique. And then I did take that Python script I wrote to color code how likely things are to walk uphill, and I ran it on this area. So black means slightly likely to go downhill, red means slightly likely to go uphill, orange means 2 to 3 times as likely to go uphill as downhill, yellow means 3 to 5 times as likely to go uphill, and green means an animal standing there is 5 times as likely or more to try to pathfind uphill. Yep, and then the whole area slowly leads the animals up to this little corner here. I did find that animals were also getting stuck in this corner, but 2NoToName actually found a good solution to that. So when I first was testing this farm, there was always about 5 sheep just hanging out in this corner here. You can see even there, they kind of tend to press themselves into the uphill corners. But 2NoToName found that in the game's code, there's a preference animals have to walk towards grass blocks rather than anything else. So I turned all these grass blocks here to path blocks. That way, if an animal is standing right here, there's a bunch of blocks in this direction that it would like to walk towards, but not many blocks in this direction that it would like to walk towards. And the funny thing is, it worked. Animals no longer build up right there. I guess the last thing to mention is just this coarse dirt. That was added in by hand because the cliff here was steep enough that the sheep kept hurting themselves on it. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.